Okay, hi, dance girl. Fucking, it's me. Fucking, I don't mean to be funny. I just don't have my eyelid tip in, and I have to wear these glasses like Morpheus. And I just realized that. Oh shit. Yeah, it's a bit nerve wracking, really. I just realized that you are like, I don't know. I should probably ask you on another date at your house. No, I'm not asking you yet because I got to think about it, but I'm pretty sure I'm like, I should just ask you if you want to go on a date at your house. And you could say yes at this point. Now, that could be, what if you're trying to fuck me over? I knocked on the guy two doors down from your house. And he and you and him could collaborate and say, well, this guy is fucking nuts. Now, do I think that's what you're doing? No. I'm leaning towards thinking I should say, you've given me enough support. You've given me enough love and enough communication at this point. Because what I wanted was, if we're going to have a date at your house, I want you to tell me when. And now I can ask you when. I could say, if, such and such time at such and such date, and if that's cool with you, then give me the yes. And then you can give me the yes. And now, would I feel like that's me bending over backwards for you? Not really. If your name is really the name on the bus pass, you've kind of given me legal equivalency with you. Like, if you try and fuck me over, well, I could fuck you over too. And I don't think either of us are doing that. So then, and Osho says, follow your intuition. My intuition says that's not what you're doing. But then on an interpersonal relationship level, well, why would you only meet me at your house with a bunch of people? Like, I wouldn't expect you to come over to my house for my family party or something. Like, do you not trust me or something? And the only thing I can think of is you were like, well, I tried to go on many dates with you and you ignored me every single time. And I'd be like, well, why wouldn't I have? But given the fact that you've given me this nice clothing, you've told me your name, what am I supposed to say? Hi, does such and such live here? No? Oh, okay. I thought she did. I don't know what the plausible deniability excuse would be. I would be more like, hi, does Dance Girl live here? I would even worry and wonder, are you even going to answer the door? Would it be someone else? And like, what am I supposed to say? Like, hey, it's me, your boyfriend. Guess what? I'm here. Or am I supposed to be like, does such and such live here? And they're like, and then Dance Girl is there. And you're like, why are you here? And I'm like, oh my God. But I don't think you would do that to me. Like, I would ask you in ahead of time that you're going to answer as my girlfriend. Like, we won't have to pretend to get to know each other. Like, we won't have to be like, oh, I'm here because I lost something outside of your house. I could have an excuse like that, I guess. Did you see, there was something left outside of your fence? Is it even your house? Like, basically I'd ask you, are you literally the house right beside the Kenneth Trails? And are you guys millionaires? Like, did you buy a house to the right of the Kenneth Trails for your sister? That would be cool. Not that it would matter, but just buying a house for your sister, that'd be cool. Well, so yeah, I'm not asking you on a date yet, but I'm pretty sure I have everything I need to say, yeah, that works for me. Like, I'll think of a time, probably June 2nd at like 8 p.m. or something like that. July 2nd. And then, that gives me some time to get healthy, get like nice and fit. And I'd ask you, like, what do you think of that time? Is that your house? Is that agreeable to you? Are you going to answer the door? Am I going to have to talk to your parents and be like, is Dance Girl here? Is your name here? And am I going to have to go through some bullshit with them? Like, I don't think I necessarily want to do that. I'd ask you these things. Like, I'd say, like, I want the confirmation from you that you're going to answer the door, that you're going to make it hospitable to me, that you're going to take into account that this would be nerve-wracking for me, that this is, like, put yourself in my shoes. Imagine you coming here, And so, are we going to have to play any games of plausible deniability? One of the things that I really don't like about gang stalking is once you already know it exists, you'd like to have just plain conversations with the gang stalkers and say, who's your handler? What does he do? What does he do if you don't listen? And who's their handler? And what do you think of this person and that person? I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's like, I already know. I'm just trying to have gossip here. I'm not even trying to uncover your master plan. I'm just like, what do you think about this person and that person and all this and that? But, what I really wanted from you is if you're not going to meet me on the street, I'm guessing you feel rejected. You feel like if I don't pursue you more, I might not like you. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I worry more that you're projecting, that you've approached me in a way that is distinctly impossible for me to talk to. And, and you've used that against me. You've said, well, if you don't talk to me, it means you don't like me. So I guess you got to take all the risk. But at the same time, if you just said, we're having a first date, would you come over to my house and have dinner with me? Or come over to my house, meet my family, then we'll go for a walk together, or something like that. Just let me just do the family meet and greet. Now, obviously, I don't like your brother. I don't like your sister. I don't like your dad. Your mom is the most forgivable person in your family to me. She's but even the last time I saw her, she was an accomplice to your dad. Your dad was the witch's accomplice, more likely, and she played the role of the good guy. So I don't particularly like anyone in your family. So I would visit you in spite of their being there. I would be polite, but probably only because I'm scared, probably only because I'm a pushover. I was actually quite submissive to your mom and dad. But at the same time, I don't think I recognized them at first. They had their disguises on, and they were giving me a death threat, which is pretty scary. I'd like to see their reaction. I'd like to actually break into their house and put a gun to their head and say, are you scared? And right when they're not expecting it. And to your head, too. I'm going to kill your family. Are you scared? See if I can get you. You're like, oh, I'm not scared of anything. Well, okay. Have you been raped? Have you been strangled? I'd like to do those things to you first. I'd like to do those things to your kids. And then I'll put a gun to your head. Then I'll put a noose around your sister's neck. And then I'll see if you're scared. And I'd like to have it done to you when you're kids too. And then we'll see if you're scared. Then we'll see how tough you are then. That's what I think of you. That's what I'd like. If you think, I made you scared and I got the best of you, I'd like you to have to go through the things I've been through and then see how scared you are when someone with impunity puts a sniper to your head, puts a sniper to your family's head. I'd like to see how tough you are then. But anyways, I will be polite. I will knock on your door and I will be respectful and I will wait for the confirmation that you would like me to come over for a visit. And then I will, that would be pretty scary for me, actually. That would be really scary. But as long as I get the confirmation from you, and maybe you're mad at just what I said just now, and I know you guys didn't do that to me when I was a kid, but I mean, you have to factor all that in, factor all that in. Oh yeah, and murder someone in your family too, which I think my mom's dad was. Murder them in their 30s. And even drop a bottle on a baby's head in your family, make them retarded their whole life. At the doctor's office, drop a bottle on a baby's head, make them retarded their whole life. Just to show you my complete irreverence towards human life, that I kill at will for fun. That kind of thing. Now, are those coincidences? Yeah, maybe. I mean, certainly most of them are not. But anyways, I'm shaking here. I'm shaking. Maybe you won't want me to come over for dinner after that. That's a bit ridiculous. And plus, I'm vegan too. You know, no one ever has good dinners for me. Everyone's like, oh, we're not even vegan here. I was trying to find better sunglasses. I know this looks pretty ridiculous over here. So, yeah, probably I would not like any confirmation yet because I'm not asking you on this date yet. But it just became apparent to me that now that we have an open line of communication, what I've needed from you is that you would say when and where. And so I can ask you that. When? I'll pick a time, probably, July 2nd, and where? Your house. And we could go for our first date then from your house. We could go for a walk. If there's no mosquitoes, I mean, we could just walk somewhere. We could walk to TSD's house. And we can invite Red Hair out, and we'll say, Red Hair, steal some of TSD's clothes. And let's go out, steal Dance Girl and I some of TSD's clothes, and let's all dress up as him and go for a walk, pretending we're TSD. And that would really make him mad. Well, my mom was like, yeah, we're not going to do that call screening thing because I have to get the spam calls too. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I really hate the spam calls, so we need more of them. I was like, wait, what? We're going to get $150 phones. I'll pay for them. This has the ability to block all the spam calls. She's like, yeah, I hate the spam calls too. Let's not use that feature and let's get all the spam calls. I was like, oh, I had a feeling that you'd say that. I was like, I had a big feeling that you'd say that. And she's like, yep, sorry. I just got to get all the spam calls. There's like 3,000 numbers we can put in that call anytime they want. We'll put in all the people. You think it's just you only need 100, but you got Manny, you got the fucking doctor's office, you got your cousin, her cell phone, her landline, her boyfriend, you got the pharmacist, you got the utility company. You have all these people who could be gang stalkers, but they're good, they're friendly. And you can't do call blocking because with call blocking, the spammers, they change their number every single time. So call blocking is completely irrelevant and useless. So the only thing you can do is mute every single phone call except for people on your trusted list. And the $150 phones have 3,000 people you can put on your trusted list. The $130 phones have 100 people you can put on your trusted list. So we're like, oh, 100 is enough. But ChatGPT is saying you actually should get the 3,000 one because your list is going to fill up way quicker than you think. And we also like the silver ones better than the black ones. And and it comes with the answering machine, but we don't need that. So, because we have one through Bell. So my mom's like, well, if we put the call on mute for everyone except our green light, then if someone who is a friend calls with a new number, we won't get their call. We will get their call that we could go through the call display and see who called that day, but it won't ring. And I don't want to go through the call display every day. So therefore, we're going to have to put up with all these spam calls. And my heart just sinks. I'm just like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew you were going to say this. And I'm thinking, I don't even want the phones anymore. The phone, it's irrelevant. It's fucking irrelevant. Now, I hope what I said was not just threatening a few moments ago. Let me do all that stuff. Okay, I would feel very upset if you guys did some vehicular assault on me. I would feel like that's not fair. I'd feel like I'm not actually threatening you. I'm not actually saying don't go outside, because if I'm not actually doing that. I'm trying to put into perspective how humiliated I was to be afraid of you. That it wasn't by your own courage that I was afraid of you. It was by your stolen blood money and the army that you have behind you. And that humiliated me very much. And it embarrassed me to be put in that position. And I'd like you to know that I resent you and I don't respect you. But I will treat you with respect. But I want you to know it's not genuine. But Dance Girl, I respect because she has given me her clothes and her name. She's given me accountability, basically. So, anyways, so please do not assault me for that. I'll be very angry. By saying all these things, I hope you can tell I'm genuinely not threatening you. Okay, I hope you can tell I'm genuinely not threatening you. That should be obvious that I'm trying to say, try going through what I've been through, and these are the things I've been through. Put yourself in my shoes, okay? I would like you to understand that, please, because I'll be very angry if you assault me for that. And so, anyways, and I didn't know the conversation was going to get so dark. I didn't know I had all these feelings of resentment. And I got to do my eyelid tape. I'm sorry. I can't wear these stupid fucking glasses. Could you imagine someone telling you all this wearing ridiculous fucking glasses? Oh my God. The thing with eyelid tape is you do it once, it doesn't work. You do it twice, it doesn't work. So anyway, I told my mom, I said, I guess I'll just change my sleep schedule because there's nothing else. You want to keep the calls coming in at the price of spam calls also coming in. So maybe we could keep the ringer off until noon. Maybe that's a good compromise. I can change my schedule and then just wake up every day at noon. And she said, yeah, that works for her. That's kind of like we meet halfway. I was thinking, because when you live with a woman, you have to do everything in a way that makes no sense, that causes the most amount of pain. And And fucking hell, man. And that's just part of it. So I was I was expecting that. I was like, this is way too easy. And then, and then when I explained it more, she's like, oh, wait, we actually do need all the spam calls. But she didn't want the spam calls either. She's like, I want those 3-ring ones to stop. And I was like, yeah, this is going to solve that. This is like the only phone that solves that. And if you just buy the technology for your regular phone to stop that, it's not even as good as this. This is like the premium. This is like, this is like the king of fucking get your fucking spam calls to stop. And this one, when your cell phone rings, you can answer. You can answer the landline, and it'll sync with your cell. And this one works as a walkie-talkie too. Okay, my eyelids are so fucked up. I can't get this to work. I don't even know how to do it. I've done 3 in a row. I don't know whether to go lower or higher at this point. But that would be a nice date at Dance Girl House. I think Dance Girl wants me to do that. And that's one of those things that I can say, yep. It's nice when you can say yes to someone. Now, why does Dance Girl want that? I don't know. I think I really don't know. She doesn't trust me, really. Well, so what? Now, I don't know if this is the best eyelid tape. It might not be very good. You know, I didn't do it very good. As far as I know, yeah, definitely Dance Girl has seen me without eyelid tape, and she still loved me back then. So, you know, honestly, if I didn't have eyelid tape, I would be, you know, I had a lot of confidence issues about this, and when I had eyelid tape suddenly, I felt extremely confident. And a lot of people would say, that's kind of ridiculous. And I'm like, oh no, it's not. If I don't have my eyelid tape, I can't make a video. I can't do anything over here. So yeah, I mean, what should I expect? Like, who will answer the door? What will we say? Will we just automatically be boyfriend and girlfriend? Or will we have to have a new relationship? Like, oh hey, I'm the paper boy. Would you like a brochure? Can I come in for a minute and tell you about, I don't know, something or other. Well, I have $580. What the fuck? Look at the fucking Xbox signal. It was different. It was glowing green. It's never been like that. It was black and green. Normally it's white and green. Now, they had a guy with a Luigi hat at Walmart the other day, and he was like, yeah, it was us who hacked your account. Ruined your racing Transformers game. I'm like, I already beat that. I could beat it again easily. Well, anyways, well, I have always enjoyed Dance Girl's mom, for the simple reason that she's Dance Girl's mom. There is something about that, you know, I do think of Dance Girl as a very bright person. And I do appreciate Dance Girl's mom's personality. I don't like her, obviously, but I appreciate her. You know, someone can have intelligence and use that intelligence for evil. And I appreciate the intelligence, but I don't appreciate how they use it. I appreciate Dance Girl's mom's personality. I don't appreciate how she uses it, but I appreciate her personality. And so, I mean, would we have dinner? Or is that too soon? I mean, if you're really saying come over to my house, it's not just going to be like, oh, I just lost something outside of your yard. Did you see something in your yard? I was playing fetch with my dog and I threw a ball into your fence. Can I get it? You know, it wouldn't just be like that. I would just bring the bag of dog shit over from our yard and say, someone threw this on our roof. Someone left this in our yard. Is this yours? I'll pull a Joanne. I'll be like, is this yours? Did you leave? Do you guys use green bags here? I'll be like, I don't know. You know, ultimately, I would ask you, like, I'm just coming up with the tentative conditions here. I would ultimately ask you, if I show up, are you going to answer as Dance Girl? Or are you going to answer as a stranger? And because you should consider this too, Dance Girl, that I'm actually correct, that you have approached me in a way where I was not able to talk to you, and that you intentionally did that because you're in fact afraid of me. You're actually afraid of me for emotional reasons. You're not afraid I'm going to hurt you. You're afraid I'm going to not love you. You're afraid of being seen. And you think that you're afraid of, you know, I'm going to have a raging boner with cum stains all over my pants. I'm going to grab you and run into the woods with you. Or that I'm going to humiliate you. And it's going to be a trick. But what you're really afraid of is that I'm going to see who you are. And that I'm not going to like you. And you're not going to get away from that fear by having your mom and your dad with you, or people who support you, people who really love you, and they're like, Dance Girl, we think you're amazing. That's not going to erase your fear of me seeing you. And so you think you're going to bypass that by me coming over to your house, and it's going to be all fun and games, but it's not. It's not just going to be like, oh, it's suddenly easy now. It's not going to be any easier just because they're there. They can't offer you any real support. Really? It's going to be just you and I. No matter how many people are there, it's going to be just you and I. And so your method, I can see your reasoning, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to do it the way that you want, but because it's the way I want to. It works. This is fair enough that it works. But I'm just telling you that it's not going to help you in the way you think it is. You're going to be just as scared for me to say, hi, it's me. You're going to be just as scared to say, thank you for coming over. I'm happy to be here with you. Would you like to come inside? It's going to be just as scary for you to do that. For you to be supportive and loving to me without using a proxy. It's going to be just as scary for you to do that. It's going to be as scary for you as it is for me. You're going to have to be like a man. Okay? So your method is unscientific. Your method is not logical. But it doesn't matter because it's respectful enough for both of us that it works. But you know, I hope that you've thought it through. I mean, it might just be, what are you gonna say if I'm like, hi, is such and such here? Like, what do you even answer? Or if you answer, I'll just say hi. What will you say next? Will you just wait for me to say, can I come in? Will you act like we're strangers? Will you have the guts? You're like, well, you should have the guts to talk to me. If I have the guts to talk to you, will you have the guts then to take the next move and to say, then come on in? Because so far you're acting like you don't. You're acting like you just do it all. And I'm like, eventually you're gonna have to tell me you like me. Like, if you want to sleep with a guy, you're gonna have to admit to him that you like him. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, I just don't even know who he is. Oh, I guess his dick just fell into me. I don't even know how it happened. Like, eventually you're gonna have to be like, my last name is Owner's Pig, and that's who I am now. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll do it your way, but you know, it's not really gonna change anything. It's not gonna make it any easier than if we just meet on the street. And that's, and that's why I'm like, if we meet on the street and say hi, the only thing that you're showing me and I'll do it your way, remember, I will do it your way. But the only thing you're showing me that you're willing or capable of doing is saying hi anyways. And so that's why I'm like, well, just meet me on the street and say hi, and we can slowly acclimate to each other. Because neither of us are in a rush. And both of us are contented and happy in our relationship. So it's not like we have to suddenly be like, okay, right now, we got to get together right now. We have, we have to tell each other we love each other every day. And that's because we love each other, okay? I hope you never feel like you have to tell me. I hope you never feel like that. I always tell you because I want to tell you. If you ever were to tell me because you have to tell me, I would be devastated. I would feel like you're lying to me and like you're playing me and like you don't really love me. And I would never want that. But I think that you do love me. I think that you actually love me. And that it's a joy for you. I think this is quite an interesting relationship. I think we're very odd people. I think the chances of this happening are very, well, maybe not. There's a lot of TIs who are with gang stalkers and who know it. They're like, yeah, I'm a TI and now I have kids who are gang stalkers. And what do you know? Now, would our kids be TIs or gang stalkers? They'd be TIs, probably. And I would never choose it. They get to be whatever they want. They could be TI or gang stalker. They could go to public school or homeschool. They could eat vegan. They could be raw vegan. They could be whatever they want. But the coolest people are TIs. And, you're like, well, that's fucking bigoted against gang stalkers. Okay, well, let's name the coolest people. Red Bar, TI. Osho, TI. Me, TI. Dance Girl, gang stalker, coolest person. You got one coolest person. We'll say red hair too. Alex Schultz, gang stalker, I think. So we'll say there's 3. Sam Hyde, TI. Nick Rocheford, TI. You want to go any, I don't really like them very much, and not for the reasons you might think, but Martin Luther King, TI. Now I don't really like him. You might think because I'm racist. It's not because of that. It's because he's a politician. Malcolm X, TI. Like him better than Martin Luther King, but still the same thing, a politician. But he's still cooler. A lot of the fucking coolest people are fucking TIs. And I would be like, I don't know. It's not even whatever. It's not even my job to say that. And but first things first, we should talk about a first date first. And otherwise, so just because I knock on your door, I mean, what would I say? I'll have some time to, I would just say hi. I would expect that you would answer. And if you didn't answer, I'd ask if you're home. I'd say, does such and such live here? And then if you were there, you'd say hi. And then I'd say hi. And then would that be your move next to say, come in? Would I supposed to be breaking the fourth wall then and say, it's me? Do you know what I mean? What would I even say? Now, you can't really plan for these kind of things, but it would be fun, It would be exciting. There's too many mosquitoes. It would be nice to go for a walk, but we could have a bonfire in your yard, or we could just go to my house or whatever. You know, we could just go for a walk or just hang out at your house. Maybe you have video games. Maybe we could have dinner. Maybe we could just skip pretending like we don't know each other and just say we're having dinner here. And would you like to have dinner? And just, you know, we could all say we know each other now. And, well, you guys have a side split. You know, a side split is a nice house. I love a side split. And I'll bet it's your sister's house too, because you have the same fence. I've always liked that house. And I used to think it was your house too, not your sister's house. But I mean, you should think about, if I say, do you want me to come to your house? And you're like, yes. You should think about why you would want that instead of meeting on the street. Because if you're not able to meet on the street, it's not going to make it any easier at your house. Now, I'm pretty much sure I'm going to get my new MP3 player now. With my fucking OtterBox case. I'm like, yep, I'm getting it. Whoa. It might be easier for you to meet on the street, to say hi. It might be a stepping stone for you as well, to say, this is going to make it easier to meet at my house. That might be a thing. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I will do it the way you say, because it's also the way I say too. But it might be worth considering that one of these days when I go for a bike ride, I go down by the river, I go for some nice bike ride, and you're just sitting on a bench, and I'll just come and sit beside you and talk to you. Say hello, or just we walk by each other and just say hello. That might be something that it will make it easier for you as well if I show up at your house. You might actually, you know, I know you already understand, I'm over explaining. You might actually like that way better. Might be easier for both of us. But you know, I'm good at winging it, and I can freestyle rap. So because I can freestyle rap, I can think of what to say on the spot. And I can never do it unless I'm actually on the spot, and then I can. But fucking, what's it called? But I'd think of what to say too. You know, really, there's not much to say other than hello. I mean, if we were normal persons going on a date, also what would we say? Hello. Like there's not really anything you could plan for that. Now I'd have to trust you that you're not going to act like I don't know who you are and what this is about. That you're not going to humiliate me. Be like, I don't even know who you are. Why are you here for? Knowing that you like me, but that you just don't have the guts to act like we're together. But I don't think you would do that. You know, I would ask you I'll come over on the condition that you act like we're together. Or or do you want it to just be a fake visit? That I'd say I'm just going by in the neighborhood to, I don't know, for some fucking bullshit reason. I mean, I'm not sure what you'd prefer. Probably, obviously, you'd prefer a real visit where we act normal. But maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you're just like, just say you're here because you lost something in my yard. Or something. You're playing fetch with your dog and you threw, and the ball bounced and it went in our yard. Do you see the ball? Or something like that. And then the real thing would be that we just get to talk to each other. But I don't think that's a thing. I think that's pretty gay. I think it would be a lot more awesome to just be normal. So I'd assume you'd invite me inside and and what will we do? And how would we act? I mean, apparently you guys are all under gag orders. You guys aren't allowed to say, we're gang stalkers. Like, I'm not allowed to say, you guys are gang stalkers and I'm a TI. How's it going? And therefore, am I also not allowed to say, we know each other? Like, am I supposed to pretend the whole time that we don't know each other and that it's a completely random event? Am I supposed to say, I've been having like an affair with these clothes left in my yard, and the name here implies that it's from this house, and therefore let's hang out now? But if that's allowed to say, then why not leave the clothes in my mailbox? Why leave them in the yard as if it wasn't from me? I don't know how it got there. I mean, there's something a little bit unfair about this. It's a little bit unfair. And I know your reasoning. And your reasoning is because I'm afraid of being humiliated by you. But of course, that's not the real reasoning. But I don't expect you to believe me, and I don't expect you to understand that. So, yeah, and our family, trust me, means fuck you. So I'll have to go to your level. It was kind of like, we had these shoes from this girl who had seizures and she died. We had all these Converse shoes that her family gave us to sell. And we said we're going to give the money to charity. And then we kept selling them and not giving the money to charity. But it was my mom who told me that she was going to give the money to charity. And then I told everyone on YouTube we're going to give the money to charity. And we gave a $150 gift card to Aaron and Jen for taking care of the dogs. We donated we donated some of the shoes to, I don't know, some place. But then my mom kept some of the money. But she didn't tell anyone she was giving it to charity. She just told me she was going to give it to charity. And then I told everyone. And then no one was buying the shoes. And it felt like everyone was saying, well, you said you're going to give it to charity and you didn't. So you're like cheating. And I was like, but that was an honest mistake. And I felt like if people have a problem with that and they're not buying the shoes as protest, I'd be like, I disapprove of your disapproval. But I want your support. I want you to support me with everything. Okay, I want you to like me. And I think that you're incorrect. But I will go to your level, even though your level doesn't make sense, because you can't understand my level, which you should, which is just, of course, my mom never lied, and I never lied. I just realized after she had given enough money to charity that she kept some of the money. And why wouldn't she? Like, the shoes were given to her. Why would she have to not keep the money from Kijiji? Like, why would she have to give all the money away? She's like, I'm going to sell all these shoes and give all the money to charity. Why would she even have to do that? Why wouldn't she just, like they're her shoes. Someone gave her those shoes. Someone gave her those shoes as charity because she's a TI. So I was like, okay, people are angry. I'll just put I'll put all the good ones out there that are worth like $50 each. I'll put 6 pairs of those for free out on the fucking lawn. So just to make the people happy, which I don't think it's fair to have to do that, but I'll do that just because I want the support of people, that if some gang stalker takes extra delight in hurting me extra much that they don't have to do, I want other gang stalkers to say, actually, you can't do that because this guy gave us free shoes, so fuck you. I wanted that. But also, I would have given them away for free anyways too, because I'm like, I don't fucking want to be dealing all this. Okay, we'll do $15. Okay, come. I'm like, I'll just give them away. I would rather just give them away. But also, I would have liked to sell them on eBay because I want to sell things on eBay too. Like, just because it's fun for me. Like, I would actually like to go to the thrift shop and tell Google AI to tell me what to buy and sell it on eBay, and actually try to have an eBay shop. I mean, because I love shopping, and if my job was to literally go shopping at thrift shops and then sell stuff on eBay, that would be so fucking crazy. That would be really amazing. Well, you know, whatever. It doesn't even fucking matter. But I'm influential. Like, Zeph's daughter took after him. Like, he never expected it. You know, I was very mad at him. I said, why did you ever have a baby as a TI? I said, you're so mad about Matthew 18? Oh, all you ever quote is Matthew 18. Well, why did you have a baby then, knowing they'd be fucking fucked? Why did you have a baby then? And I felt like I really hit him hard there because I think he carries a lot of guilt because he always knew that. And he was going to Italy to chase that woman who he had a baby with. And then his handler was making fun of him and laughing that his daughter died. And then I said to him, I'm sorry for saying that. You know, I look up to you so much that I never thought of you as being a victim. You know, I never thought of you as fallible, as human. I never thought of you as, you know, I always thought of you as Superman kind of thing. Because you are. But anyways. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I mean, if we did have, so yeah, how'd we work that out? Just like, what would we even talk about? Hello, I mean, how would it even work? I mean, I'll ask ChatGPT, but it's like, essentially you're trying to bypass accountability. But there's no way to bypass that. There's no way to have a real conversation without having actual accountability. And just making it at your house doesn't change that. In which case, it is more logical then to actually meet on a bench and actually say like, oh yeah, hi, oh hello, and then that gives us all the plausible deniability that we're just meeting naturally. Then our relationship looks natural. and it doesn't violate the rules of gang stalking. Now you could be saying, show up at my house as a test, and then later on you'll meet me on a bench. Because if you stand me up, I'm going to be really angry. So I could ask you for confirmation for that too. Are you just trying to see that I have the love for you to do that? To knock on your door? And then later on you would meet me on a bench? I don't know. But I don't think it really matters because the logistics will work themselves out. I think what matters is that we love each other and that we're supportive of each other and that we're trusting of each other and that we treat each other with respect. So, and we have respect for each other's boundaries. So as long as those things are there, then we can figure out a way, and we have like 2.5 weeks. We have like 2 weeks to do that. So we should be able to figure that out pretty quickly. Now, obviously, I'm thinking, am I incriminating myself right now? But I don't really think that you or your family would intend on harming me. You know, I could see TSD trying to use this against me, but I don't see anyone else trying to use it against me. I don't think the cops or the judges or the secret society, I don't think the people in the town would be like, okay, now we're gonna get them. I don't feel like that at all. Now, would I go to Pizza today to get another pizza? I don't know. Fucking TSD is gonna be really mad. TSD is like a cartoon villain. It's not funny, but on a level it's funny. It's like, oh, that TSD, what's he's gonna do today? On a level it's actually funny. But it's when shit gets real, it's not funny. It's really not funny. But in a certain way, on a certain level, at a certain time, you know, even my dad had a girlfriend who died in the tsunami, and one of his friends said, oh, you know what a good porn name for her would be is Tsunami. And my dad was like, too soon. You know, he said that like the day after. And what was I talking about again? I don't know. Fucking something about that damn TSD. I don't know. Oh yeah, that like a cartoon character or something. I don't remember. Cartoonishly evil. I don't know. Well, I wanted to go to Pizza to get another pizza. It's way cheaper. It's cheaper to go to the fucking restaurant, to go to Pizza or Mr. Sub, or not Pita Pit, but I mean, yeah, Pita Pit's one of the best, but it's cheaper literally to get a fucking pizza at the fucking pizza store than it is to buy a frozen pizza. What's up with that? How is that even a real thing? You have to pay an employee to fucking keep the store open and to make the food, and it's still cheaper than a grocery store. What's the fucking deal? How the fuck? And it's way better. It's way better. And they knew to put the fucking thing underneath the cheese so it doesn't dry out. You know? And I wouldn't go in with a camera again. You know, that guy didn't like that. I went into, you know, you don't want to disrespect people who make your food. Because, not because they'll spit in it, but because they might make it without love, and that poisons it spiritually. Like, apparently, when you get, if your wife hates you, she'll make your food with hatred, and it'll be poisoned, and it'll give you cancer. And there's no physical thing in it, but there's a spiritual aspect to cancer. That if the person making your food hates you, they'll make it with hate. And then you'll feel it. And then you'll feel like bad attitude. And then that'll give you the bad chemicals that are associated with bad attitude. And then you'll develop cancer. And so I'm like, I don't want to piss off that fucking pizza guy. Now, he was okay. I was kind of in a bad mood that day. Typically, I like the other guys. He was nice enough, but there are some guys at the pizza store who I really like. I mean, there was this one guy, he followed me out of the pizza store. He works there. He has gray hair. He's tall. He's like, Zach, your pizza's done. I was like, I know, but you guys don't have the vinegar or something. There is something they didn't have, and I had to go over to KFC to get it. I was like, there's some condiment that I need to get over here that you guys don't have. He's like walking out of the store. He's like, your pizza's... And I'm like, but you don't have... I'm getting onion rings here, and I don't think you even have vinegar. And there's no possible way I'd be getting onion rings without vinegar. Now, some people like malt vinegar. This one girl I knew, she had a real attitude problem, and she liked malt vinegar. And I thought, I'll bet that's not a coincidence. I bet malt vinegar is too much. But there's a malt shake too. And what's that all about? A malt milkshake? Now I don't drink milkshakes anymore because they make me congested. It's too congesting. And same with milk. We don't drink milk at this house. If you drink milk, you should probably be in prison. And I'm not saying this about veganism. I'm saying you got a lot wrong with you if you drink milk. You have big fucking problems. And there's a lot wrong with that. And even almond milk, okay, even vegan milk, I would not drink it. You got big problems it's too much. You might as well drink a milkshake as your regular beverage. If you're gonna drink milk, you should drink a milkshake. And if you're gonna drink a milkshake, that should be a treat. That shouldn't be something you drink all the time. I mean, I don't know. But I used to drink milk out of the bag. And we would put it in a glass pitcher so it stayed even cooler. And I would just chug the fuck out of it. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would go downstairs and I would just put my DSLs on that fucking milk nipple. And I would have the smallest hole. I would cut the holes just the right size to drink milk out of the bag. I'd do some big holes if I wanted to get real zippy. I do some small holes if I wanted to tease myself. And I would get the holes just the right size. And I would chug like half a bag at a time. I would chug like 2 liters of milk in a night. And I remember those days of drinking milk. I can't fucking believe it. I can't fucking believe I did that. But, well, you also wouldn't want to he went the extra mile. The guy at the pizza store, he made the pizza the way I wanted it without me even telling him. And I was trying to tell him, because you order it online and you have special notes, and I wanted to write, the pepperonis have to be underneath the cheese, because if it's on top, it's going to get dried out. And he knew to do that. So I was like, okay, because you went the extra mile for me, I will not film inside your pizza store. And I would really appreciate if I get another pizza that it be made the same way. If I could figure out how to put a note on the order, I will definitely do that. Because it was so good. It was amazing. It was the best. It was the best vegan pizza I've ever had. It was fucking amazing. I loved it. It was $23, and it was probably 2.3 pounds. That's what ChatGPT guessed. And they told me the weight per gram, and it's the price per gram compared to the grocery store. And it says, you think the grocery store is cheaper because they put it under $10, but they're just trying to fool you with numbers. It's actually more expensive at the grocery store. And it's not even close to as good. It doesn't even compare. The pizza at the Pizza was so good that I didn't even need a dipping sauce. The one from the grocery store, it was chicken barbecue. It definitely needed a dipping sauce. And it was Daiya cheese. Daiya sucks. And my mom was like, you should just make your own cheese. I was like, yeah, but you have the probiotics. You need probiotics to make vegan cheese. And we don't have any until tomorrow. And so, yeah, I could go get some cashews. I could make some vegan cheese tomorrow. I could make lasagna, which I've really wanted. But if I'm going to go to Dance Girl's house, I'll probably want to be raw vegan. Probably want to be super hot guy for her. My personality changes a lot when I go raw vegan. You know how I have a little pinhead? Well, Helen and my mom are hanging out with these two gay guys, and named Aubrey and Patrick. Aubrey's 46, Patrick is 26, and they're a couple. And Patrick is not cool. Aubrey is amazing. Patrick is like, where's the vaporizer? Where's the vaporizer? Where is it? I need it right now. Where's the vaporizer? Aubrey is like, he sees a picture of Helen's boyfriend, and he says, that tells me everything I need to know. And my mom was like, I think my mom was like, you know, Helen, I'd like your boyfriend if he wasn't so rude and condescending. Except for the fact that he's rude and condescending, I really like your boyfriend. And Aubrey was like, I think I love you already. And he's really smart. He's a nurse, and he's really funny. He's one of those people who he knows a lot. Like, whenever you bring something up, he's like, without trying to be a know-it-all, he knows about it. And his skull is bigger than mine. And I'm like, you know, I wish I didn't have this little pinhead, because I wish I was a Renaissance man as well. And I think that if I eat a perfect diet, it'll boost my brain power up to the same as someone who has a big head. And I'll actually be the same as someone who has a big head. And so then I'll be like, you know, my mom was like, you're already great. I was like, I wish I was great like Aubrey. Like, I wish I had, you know, I didn't have a fucking ping pong ball head. And my mom was like, oh no, you are great. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. When I looked at Aubrey, I felt immediately by his picture, you could tell just by his picture that he's funny and smart and lovable. And I felt like, she's like, you're already great. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I gotta eat more fruit to compensate my pinhead. I don't know. But yeah, going to Pizza, obviously there's going to be a lot of punishment for that, but it's the best. And I have $589. I'm going to be spending $150 on the phones. My mom said she'll pay for half of the new cordless phones. So that's $75. And then I'm buying a new Samsung Galaxy S5 Evo and an OtterBox case and a new battery, and that comes to $106. So that means $182, $181, and or something like that. I can't remember what I said, but like $180, we'll say. And then I'm still gonna have $400 left, $410 left. And then what am I going to buy? I could get a pizza. I can get butter. and I can get Impossible meat, and I can make buffalo wings. I could go to Ben Tan, although I really worry about Ben Tan that I caused them harm. But I get lots of Asians stalking me now, as if they're saying, it's okay, we get it, we understand, we forgive you, no one's harmed, everything is okay. I feel like Ben Tan is telling me that. So that makes me happy. But then do I even want Ben Tan? Yeah, Ben Tan is good. But is that really what I want? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want a pizza. But then I also want those buffalo wings. Those are really good. And those last 2 meals, you can make potatoes and buffalo wings, only use half the chicken. And then otherwise later on have more for snack. You can have fucking for $13, you can get buffalo wings and chips. Now, would you want to spend $13 a day on food? No, that's too much. But you're kind of big spender these days. And then you could also get new clothes, like linen clothes. I want to get new pants. I mean, really, I'm most excited about this MP3 player. And you couldn't get a better, it's going to cost $100 after the fucking case and the battery. I mean, that's kind of expensive. But could you get a better one for $100 off Amazon? No. What if you get an iPod? Apple is a cult. Okay, I love my iPad. But getting a fucking MP3 player made by Apple, that's as bad as drinking milk. That's really fucked up. You have big problems if that's you. Why would you want to have to go through iTunes? Why would you want to download proprietary software that's clunky and fucking bloated? Why wouldn't you just go, there's a file, there's a folder, just move the file into the folder. Done. Why would you want to be like, let me just take a picture of the inside of my asshole, like it's a fucking interrogation by Louise, and give you the fucking, the color of it in Home Depot paint colors. Yes, it's RGB burgundy 52. Like, why would you have to do all that? That's so fucked. You know why? Because they're like, we're going to make you suffer for it because you like suffering, because we're fucking assholes and so are you. And we like it. And you love the pain, don't you? And you just love it, don't you? That's what they really say. Oh, you want to buy a Gucci? They have this one Gucci bag. It's literally a clear plastic bag for like $1,000. A grocery store bag. A literal, one of the free grocery store bags. Now, speaking of Ben Tan, in our yard, they have a milk bag. I cut the grass today. On the inside of our yard, where we got that first Dance Girl sweater, or Louise sweater, but now I'm thinking it's a Dance Girl, they had a white or a gray bag, just like the bag at Ben Tan. They had a milk bag, the white or gray bag at Ben Tan. Those are such nice bags. I said, if I ever kill myself, I'd use one of these Ben Tan bags, because they are really fucking nice. They had a bag like at Ben Tan in the yard. They had a milk bag, which implies rape. They had a spinach, which implies my mom's food. And they had a green dog shit bag, which implies Dance Girl hates me, and it implies spiking your food with shit. So they're saying we're going to kill and rape and poison you and your mom. That's what they're saying. And I thought, you are such cowards. The fact that you would say something so gross and you wouldn't even say it with any accountability, it just shows that you're very gross, disgusting cowards. And it's so cartoonishly evil that it's like, it's funny, but at the same time, it's not funny. It's like, it's actually heinously fucking sick. Like, if you actually had the guts to say that in a written letter, you would be going to prison for so long. If you're like, hey, it's me, I've been breaking in your house and threatening you all the time, and stalking you and terrorizing you and other stuff when you're asleep, and drugging you and gassing you, you would be in prison for your rest of your life. You would be literally, like, you're such cowards. Like, I don't even know how it's not embarrassing. I don't even know how you're shameless. How could you be so shameless? I really don't get it. Like, is the evilest handler you've ever seen controlled by an even more evil handler? Like Gary Oldman in that Fifth Element movie? He's like, "I'll get the money, Zorg. Zorg, I'll get the money." And Zorg's like, "Oh, you got to get the Fifth Element. You got to get the surrender. You got to get the complete submission of the victim. You have to make them completely fucking desolate and broken and begging for your approval or something." You know, I don't get it. But if that's the case, why is there different quality handlers? Why are some handlers different? Well, you'd say the bad handler has a bad handler, and the buck just goes up and up and up to the top until you get to fucking the Rothschilds. Who's probably controlling all of this? Probably the Rothschilds? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Fucking, is it just one group? Yeah. I don't even fucking know. But a lot of times it seems like malice, you know? It seems like, yeah, I'm not really exactly sure that someone's breathing down your neck. But then you could say, well, what seems like malice is actually the threat and duress of the handler. I don't even know. It's hard. You could there's a lot of difference between certain gang stalkers. You know, there's certain gang stalkers who are just itching. In the G20, they brought in all the cops from outside Toronto. The cops who went around dressed as provocateurs. My dad went around filming them with a fucking camera. He'd say officers and the protesters who were wearing police-issued boots would turn around and he'd snap a picture of their face. And he said all of those cops who kettlebelled people, who beat people, those were the ones they brought from out of town who were just looking to punch someone and hurt someone. But the local cops didn't want to do that. They had to bring the out-of-town cops in because the local ones were like, we live here. Like, we live here. This isn't cool. And but they brought the fucking boony ones in. The hills have eyes. The ones where you go out to the middle of the country to join a cult, they brought those ones in. And you could tell the difference between certain gang stalkers who are just looking to fucking hurt you for fun, and the ones who don't. And so sometimes you think, yeah, you're being controlled and you're being fucking handled too. But I feel like if you weren't being handled, you might still be an asshole. Like my mom, I think she's a gang stalker, but she's a TI as well. And you know, I always say like, oh, this fucking gang stalker that. She's like, no, that's just an asshole. Like, don't even frame it that way. Just say, because it's more true to say when someone's mean. Don't say that's a black person. Don't say that's a Freemason. Don't say that's a Jewish person. Just say that's an asshole. That's a jerk. And whatever other badge they're wearing, whatever other hat they're wearing, don't even count that in. Just go right to the exact most common denominator. That person is a prick. That person is fucking mean. And you know, and so what? You know, it only sucks when your life sucks. You know, when you have a support system, you have good pizza. You know, I like the guys at the pizza store. I don't think the guys at the pizza store would spit in my food. I think they would be like, we like you enough that you can come here and we're happy for your business even though you don't tip. I'm like, yeah, I tip, but when it's $23, that's kind of expensive. I mean, they should pay you more. If you need a tip, they should fucking pay you more. Why should I have to tip? I am cheap. I just got all this money. You know, I will buy the extra phone just because I like the color. I like the silver one more than the black one. I'll pay extra money for things. But I don't want to tip sometimes. But I would actually tip because they did it good last time. I'd tip probably $2. But then it's like $25. Then it's like $25.80. It's like, well, you're almost spending $30. A bantana will only be $19 for pad thai. That probably weighs 2 pounds. A pad thai is fucking cheaper. And pad thai is better in a way. But pizza is amazing. And for the same price, you can get a thicker cut. You can get a thicker fucking crust. No, I don't. I get the regular crust. I'm not trying to be greedy here. I'm not like, give me all the fucking free dough. I'm like, I want a good ratio of cheese to sauce to crust. And I would not work at a pizza ever. Not that I wouldn't work at a food place. I've worked cleaning bathrooms. I've worked vacuuming carpets. And I was working among women at a bar doing that, wearing tight little skirts. And I just had been broken up with. And I felt very devalidated. I felt like you guys probably look down on me that I'm here cleaning the bar. And you think I'm just a loser. And you don't even know that I was really successful and I had my whole life destroyed. But after a while, I stopped caring. I was like, I actually take pride in whatever I do. And my grandma was like, don't clean and don't do a good job. She's like, the people here at this bar, and my uncle didn't like him. It was my uncle's bar, but he sold it to a different guy. And my uncle didn't like that guy. And my grandma says, don't clean the bar good. Do a bad job, because these people, they don't even take care of their own bar. They leave cigarette butts all over the front. They have, they don't do a good job. So punish them by doing a bad fucking job. Don't even vacuum good. And I was like, no, I'm going to vacuum good. I'm going to do my job good. And then I felt like really embarrassed. Like this one girl, she didn't really say hi to me. And I just kind of like insisted on saying hi to her. And I think she felt, and this was right after I had an issue with the owner of the bar. Because I was like cleaning in my pajamas, vacuuming around people. And the guy's like, we're open. You're not supposed to be vacuuming while we're open and there are patrons here. I was like, I don't give a fuck. You think I give a fuck about this stupid piece of shit fucking bar? Fuck you. That's kind of how I felt. Like, you think I want to be here cleaning a fucking bar? You think I want to have a job? I'm wearing pajamas. I'm trying not to have a job and my grandma's making me do this. I don't give a fuck what you say because you own the bar. Fuck you. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I'm just vacuuming, like, sure thing. And then right after this, it was really, but that was one issue. The other issue is, I think it was the owner who my uncle didn't like, but it was someone. And I bring food in and I start eating. And he goes, you can't have food in here. And I said, I clean here. And he goes, oh, okay. But I had an issue with someone and it was really awkward. And then and my grandma had an issue once. Oh man, it was fucking crazy. People didn't know at that bar that my grandma has bipolar. And if she gets mad, she gets really mad. And she had her dog in the car. And someone made a scene about it. Someone made a comment about it. And she, we call it, she goes volcanic. There's a few of those people I've met who you have no idea what kind of person they become until they become that person. And that's like my crazy brother Cash, who, you know, I don't talk to him because of that. And he offered that he would cut off one of his fingers or something like that. He's like, I'll cut off some body part to show you that I'm sorry for blowing up on you, and I want you to stay in my life. And I was like, no, you know, don't do that, and don't do any of that stuff. That's ridiculous. But right after I have this awkward issue with this person at the bar who I think was the owner, you know, it was very petty. And then I talked to one of the bartenders, and I insisted on saying hi to her, like that video on the airplane. Shake my hand, you know, because I still had an ego on me. And she complied. She kind of was like, yeah, like she was kind of resentfully nice to me. And I could tell that really, really humiliated her. And it humiliated me too. But I could tell it really humiliated her. And then, you know what she did? She bought a plane, and on the spiritual level, when that kind of thing happens to you, that's when someone like me does that to you, it causes a big shift in your life. Because someone like me is a Goonie bird. I'm someone who is laughable. I'm someone who's pathetic. I'm a loser. I'm an outcast. Okay, you wouldn't want to associate with me. You're gonna have less social value by associating with me. Typically. I mean, but yeah, in a certain way, it's like, I wish, but I kind of feel a similarity. If you associate with Osho, you're going to have problems. You know, Osho said there were a lot of people who would talk to him in secret, and they're like, I can't be seen with you in public because there's going to be a lot of enemies if people know that we're friends. There's a lot of people who are going to hate me if they know that we're friends. And there's, you know, so I'm I'm a fucking misfit. And so to be mogged by a misfit when you're a hot girl, but you can also recognize that that I'm the gorilla daddy. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel corny saying this, that I'm a misfit who's also the gorilla daddy, but I'm also a pathetic worm, an egotistical worm who's mogging you because I'm so petty. And even you are even more petty than me that you'll allow me to mog you. That you're so fucking petty that you'll allow a misfit worm to mog you. And not only that, but it's the gorilla daddy doing it. So it has huge weight. You're like, I just got mogged by a fucking misfit, and it even multiplies exponentially because it was a gorilla daddy who did it too. It's like the ultimate fucking mog. It's so fucking mog. It's the most humiliating thing in the world. To be mogged by a fucking misfit gorilla daddy, it cuts deep. And I knew this is a serious thing that just happened. On the spiritual level, I just decimated you. Your whole life has changed now. And she got a one-way ticket to Hong Kong. I was like, yep, that's exactly what happens. When you get mogged by a misfit gorilla daddy who is really petty and embarrassing and shows you that you're even worse, you're going to go to Hong Kong and you're never going to come back. But I said to this guy, I was like, I already clean here. And I'm eating here because, you know, I just cleaned the fucking tables. Like I cleaned the fucking, you know, I pulled out the damn table on the booth to vacuum. You know, did you not see me? Okay, are you fucking with me here? And so someone had said something about my grandma's dog being in the car, and she loves her dogs. She, all they eat is chocolate bars, hot dogs, roasts. She cooks them. She literally cooks them roasts and nothing else. And if she leaves her dog in the car, she's gonna have the window open. And someone had said something, and she just went berserk. And then afterwards, she's like, "Oh my God!" She's like, everyone must have been like, "We had no idea that you're so angry, like that you get so zippy." And I thought, were you just trying to brag, trying to show everyone your power? That finally you had the excuse. You wanted to show them that you better not mess with me, because I'm top dog. There are a lot of people who need to do that. They pass it off as something else, but they go, now I've felt like I'm the underdog here, because she cleaned out this bar. I felt like I'm the underdog here. Let me just show everyone how powerful I am. And there's a lot of people who like to do this kind of thing. And of course it does play on you. You're cleaning, you're just a lowly janitor. You're just a lowly cleaner. And everyone else is up on these higher status jobs. And so what else can you do but go ballistic? And my grandma is a nanny and a cleaner. And she always said we should have our own cleaning business. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. We could manage people. We could be good managers. And I put up an ad on Kijiji. I said, let me clean your house. Like, I'll be a cleaner. And I got a response back, and then the guy responded 2 times, once more respectfully. I didn't answer, and then he wrote back with a more polite message. And I was like, yeah, it's not that you weren't polite. You were polite enough. I understood you weren't being rude. I was just like, I don't know, I just changed my mind, I guess. I don't really want to clean. I don't really like cleaning. I would like working at making food. Oh no, I wouldn't want to clean someone's house. I wouldn't want to do dishes. I would do dishes on an industrial washer, which I like. I like cleaning, vacuuming. Vacuuming is fun. I wouldn't want to like do house cleaning, like, tidying up, because my brain is extremely OCD and ADD. And so I only remember things by accident. And so for me to like clean things is it overwhelms me. I don't know where to start. I have to ask AI, like how should I organize this all? It really it stresses me out. But I would never work at Pizza because of those ovens. I feel bad for those guys who work at that place because it's so hot in there, because they don't even have air conditioning. They're always sweating. They're working at those fucking ovens. I would rather work at Mr. Sub or somewhere where they don't have ovens. I worked making cookies at an oven once at a temp job, and I would certainly not want to make fucking anything with an oven. Too fucking hot. I mean, I can't stand being too hot. So I feel maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, yeah, we don't care about the oven. But if personally, because I wouldn't work at an oven, I'm like, if you guys don't want me to film in your store, I won't do it. Because I wouldn't want to work by those fucking ovens. But at Mr. Sub, I'll be like, I'll film in your store all day. And because they don't even, but Pepe's Pizza, they have an oven, so I wouldn't do it. But like at Mr. Sub, they have a press, and I don't even get my subs pressed anymore. And I don't even like Mr. Sub that much because I do, but they don't even have anything that's not Mexican for vegans. I'm like, if I go to Mr. Sub, I like Mexican food, but I don't want Mexican food at Mr. Sub. Are you crazy? You think I'd want Mexican food at Mr. Sub? Why don't I just go to Bar Burrito, where they don't even have sub sauce? Where their only sauce for vegans is hot sauce. Yeah, right. And this fucking girl at Bar Burrito, she ruined it. She put so much salt in. I was like, you fuck. That's way... She put like double as much that you're supposed to. I was like, you fucked it up. Oh man. And Helen used to buy me those. Helen would say, do you want to go for a walk? I'll pick you up. She'd always be late, but she would always pick me up. She'd always buy me food. And I was like, that's blood money. You're a nurse. You're working at a slaughterhouse. And she'd tell me these people are terrified. You know, she intubated people. At some point, she's going to realize that by intubating people, she was murdering them. Now, she might never know that intubation means murder, but you know, she was doing that, and she said these people were terrified. They're like, give me the intubation, give me the vaccine. Okay, these people are retarded, and they were walking into their death. And I said, you know, this is a Holocaust, and well, what can you tell? You know, I don't know if it's just a woman. What can you tell a fucking person who doesn't understand? You know, the devil tempts through the woman because the man's going to put up a fight. You could tell a woman, well, it doesn't count as cheating if you wear your blue dress, right? And they go, yeah, it actually does make sense. I'm not wearing my blue dress, so it didn't count. You know, but a man's going to put up a fight. The devil always tempts through the woman because she's weaker. And, you know, so you could tell a woman, just, you're not killing people, you're intubating them. You know, that's something else. Well, how long would a healthy person live if you intubated them? As long as they would if you didn't intubate them? No, it'd probably take a couple months to die. So, you know, so just do it to someone while they're fucking, you know, once you know viruses don't exist, then what you're calling a virus is interstitial constipation. And when you're already interstitially constipated, and then you're dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated, you can't deliver oxygen to your cells. And when you're already suffering for oxygen, then you intubate someone, and then you basically kill them through intubation. And so I'd say to Helen, you know, you're buying me money with fucking blood. This is blood money. And then finally, I got so angry at the stupidity of people. I said, I think you know, and I'm in agreement. I think you should kill them all. I think by the time someone's stupid enough to have that done, by the time someone's, no offense, like by the time someone is that fucked, then they're a Nazi and they should die. You should kill people who think that vaccines are scientific and that intubation is helping them. I hope they all die. These are the people who are actually so stupid that with all their good intent, they're going to actually kill the whole world. These are the people who are like, lock them up for not getting a vaccine. These are literal Nazis. It's good that these people die. These people actually need to die. And thank God. And kill them all, Helen. Kill every fucking one of them. Good. Hope they fucking die. Good they die. And all their good intent doesn't mean anything. Because they're going to go around with a clean conscience, killing their own kids and killing everyone else. And that's what it means to be a Nazi. That's literally what it means to be a Nazi. That you think you're doing the right thing, but you're doing the most evil thing in the world. It's like you're Darboing them. Reversing the deny everything and reverse victim and offender. You're saying, it's my body and it's your choice. That's what you're believing. But really, and you're believing that to be the victim. You're saying, you're making the choice for my body when you don't wear a mask and you don't get vaccinated. You're saying it's my body and your choice. But really what you're saying is it's my choice and it's your body. And you just got it reversed and you just don't know. And the problem about being an idiot is that that an idiot comes from the word idiom, which means to be in your own world, where you don't see outside of yourself that you're an idiot. And so nothing anyone says to you matters. And then you defer to authority. You go, well, the doctor says, and it's like, have you ever met Dr. Mabifa? There are some pretty fucking stupid doctors. All you have to do to be what do you call a doctor who graduates at the bottom of their class? You call them doctor. Okay, they're fucking idiot doctors. And do you think that just because you're a doctor, you wouldn't lie to protect your power? Like, obviously, just being a doctor doesn't mean that you have morals. And so, it's like, just because you defer to academia, you're like, well, the government says, the institutions say. You're literally saying, well, the Rothschilds say. The people who fund the fucking institutions, you're like, really? The institutions say? Well, who are they? And who are you? Who are you to say that I don't understand what they say? You're like, well, you don't know as much as a doctor. Why not? Because I'm not a doctor? Yeah, that's right. If you knew as much as a doctor, you'd be a doctor. Okay, well then there are doctors who say the same thing I'm saying. What do you say to that? And the doctors who say the same thing I'm saying, they're pretty reputable. They're like special doctors. They're like double doctors and quadruple doctors. Yeah, well, the main doctors, the majority of doctors agree that I'm right. And that's the consensus, so therefore I know. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can't argue with you. Well, then you have more compassion. She got double, my grandma got vaccinated, my whole family got vaccinated, even my Uncle Ted got vaccinated, because Helen told him to. And, he'll do it just because he probably wouldn't have done it otherwise. Now I thought, what if Helen vaccinated me in my sleep? Well, I said some things that they were going to call the police on me. But, I've ultimately forgiven family and and you do have more compassion. Ultimately, I do feel bad for those people. No, I don't say, oh, kill them all, it's all their fault. I don't say that anymore. I don't say that anymore. If I got vaccinated, I would be, at this point, I would be like, why aren't those people in prison? Like Dr. Fauci and the people and Bill Gates and all those people who put that on. I'd be like, why aren't those people in prison? I'd be like, that's not just something I'm going to forget about. I'd be like, those people need to be in prison. But again, we have all these people who are like, the virus is made in a lab. Viruses don't even exist. You're so off. You're so far gone that there's no hope for even having accountability if you think that viruses even exist. You don't even realize that we still live in the Middle Ages and you're still going like this. You're like, if I rain, like this is how you look to me. You're like, if I do this, it'll make it rain. And then you're like, oh, by the way, I'm a doctor and I'm an engineer. And I design TVs. Like I'm the person who designs TVs and I have like a PhD. Oh, hold on, I have to make it rain. Like that, like I'm like, okay, so in this lifetime, you're never gonna understand anything. You're gonna be a retard until you die. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I get it. You're like, oh, let's just go hold these people accountable. You're part of the problem, really. And what is it for? Again, you have no idea that you're burnt out from dating because dating burnt you out. And penises have a head because they're plungers to pull out other men's cum. And because nature goes against your rule system, you have to believe in mythology so that you can justify your possessing someone. And that's why you believe in viruses. It fits you very well. It fits your fucking possessive, jealous, greedy, primitive behavior, acting like an animal. By nature, you are fucking polygamist and polygamist. But by your intelligence, by nature, you will be a polygamist and your girlfriend will too. It'll be different, but she'll cheat. She'll set up a way that she cheats on you. And you have to do that to ensure genetic variety in the pack. Now, the higher you go in nature, you get more close to non-possessiveness. Like, as far as I know, the bonobos are not possessive. They're not jealous. And humans would be like that too if we weren't domesticated. But domestication prevents our maturity. So we're all fucked up. So to justify our fucked up lifestyle, we invent this crazy mythology that a virus exists. And of course, a virus has to be way smaller than bacteria, has to be so small you can't even see it, has to be so sensitive you can't even film it, and you can't ever isolate it. You just have to infer that it exists. Because what else could it be? Well, it depends. Do you think cooked food is food or drugs? Because if you know you're eating glue, then that explains why your interstitial constipation causes your cells to act fucked up. You know, but you have the half-truth then of, well, I transferred bacteria and that caused an outbreak, so it must have been a pathogen. No, it's the terrain, not the pathogen. The pathogen doesn't even exist. But so I feel bad. You know, obviously, like, you do all this studying, you know, you're a doctor, and you have no clue that everything you're studying is a lie. And you're like, but I did good, I studied it properly. And you're like, yeah, congratulations. You misinformed yourself exactly as you were taught. You became a drone exactly like you were taught. You were a good slave. Good job. You're a good slave. Your life's work to be a good slave. And you expect that you could just admit that? My life's work to be a complete fucking retard. My $150,000 education to be a fucking retard. You think someone's going to admit that? You think someone's going to go to all the pain that you go through to go to med school? And they're just going to say, yeah, I just wasted my whole fucking youth to be a fucking retard. You think anyone's going to say that? To be someone who slaughters people? Yeah, I wasted my whole life to be a retard who kills women and children and men. To kill innocent people, I got fucking duped like a dumb idiot fuck. And it was my whole life's work. You think someone's going to go, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. Do you think someone's going to say that? Or are they going to go, no, that's not what happened? They're going to say, no, that's not what happened. That's what they're going to say. Because it's too painful. It's too much to admit that. You've come so far. Your Overton window is so fucked. And then you start getting the sense of it. You're like, why would we all have to do this? Why myocarditis and fucking 5-year-olds? What's the deal? The funeral directors say the all-cause mortality is up 1,000%, more than it's ever been in hundreds of years. What's the deal? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Is that we just poisoned everyone? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, you do. Oh, yes, you know. You know, if I was a kid and some fucking fuck forced that shit on me, a kid would know. A kid would be like, fuck this. Fuck that shit. Their parents would be like, you're just a stupid kid. You have to do what we say. The kid would be like, fuck this. And then, could you imagine that? And they're like, now they're like, what did you do to me? What the fuck did you do to me? You know? I'd be so fucking mad. I'd be fucking getting the, I'd be going to, I'd be fucking really mad. And I'm mad for my own family. Who didn't even, if I would have been a kid, they would have forced it on me. Probably. I would, like, you know, I was mad at, I don't even know who to be mad at. You know, how do you even be mad at people? They're like, well, we really didn't know. Like, we didn't understand. Yeah. Yeah, you can't all be the gorilla daddy. But you should, if you were really godly, if you would have been more religious, you would have known. You would have known. You should have been less secular. You know, God would have told you, because God hates a hypocrite, and God would have told you that when has the government ever done anything for you for free? Well, I just got a nice tax check, but how much money do I pay in taxes when I go to Walmart and buy food? I mean, don't I pay a lot of taxes just by buying things? Isn't it, like, is it even breaking even? Isn't that just to pacify me? To mind control me? To make me think, you know, we'll take your money, but we'll give you some of it back so you like us. You know, I do like it. Obviously, I love getting checks, and I get government money. I get welfare. Ontario Works, so I really like it. Okay, I probably get more back than I spend. I definitely do. Okay, I definitely like it. But if I wasn't a TI, could I easily have a high-paying job? Could I easily have gotten through university? I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I don't know. Well, yeah, I've even thought, what if Helen did vax me in my sleep? You know, I was like, yeah, would I forgive her? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably. Now, did I really get vaxxed? You know, that's, someone broke in to give you COVID-19 vaccines. Maybe not, you know, maybe not. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking well, Helen used to buy me gifts. And I was like, you're using blood money to do this. And then finally I was like, yep, great, give it to me. I want it. She's like, I have this one patient, her lungs are filling up with fluid. She's gonna drown. I was like, give her a book by Dr. Batman. Tell her to drink water so that her kidneys work, so that that fluid in her lungs goes out her kidneys instead. Tell her to stop eating cooked food and to just drink water, and she won't drown. Would Helen tell her that? She's like, okay. I was like, do I really think Helen's gonna tell her that? I don't think so. You know, you could save someone's life. But would they even listen? No, because they're like, well, we just believe what the doctor says. with all the good intent in the world. And then I'm like, I am the gorilla daddy. You are not. You should listen to me. They're like, yeah, I'm the gorilla daddy too. Everyone's the gorilla daddy. I'm like, I'm telling you the thing that you actually need to hear. I'm stopping you from drowning. I'm stopping you from having your appendix removed. You don't need to have your appendix removed. I'm taking 1 second out of my time to do something that's going to immensely help you. Something that's going to help you more than you even know. And you're wasting it because you don't know that I'm telling you that the gorilla daddy knows what he's talking about. You're like, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of my face. I'm like, okay, duh, okay. I want to rip my dick off just to show you how you make me feel. I want to pull my balls. I want to cut my sack open and pull my balls off and eat them in front of you and go, I guess this is just how you communicate. I guess it's all normal. And when you're like, what are you doing? I want to be like, I'm having cheesecake. This is cheesecake now with my invisible girlfriend, Dance Girl. She's invisible. Do you want some cheesecake? And I'm like reaching into my balls and pulling my guts out. I'm like, yeah, let's have some cheesecake. Because whatever we make up is true. Because whatever we make up is true, right? No, it's true because someone wrote it in a book. And if they wrote it in a book, they must have really thought about it. So it must be true. It's cool. I read it in a book, so I know it's true. The person who told it to me read it in a book, so it must be true. Because if they wrote it in a book, they would have really thought about it first. So they must have really checked their facts. They must have had an editor to check it to make sure it's right. They must have had a fact checker. It was written in a book, so it must be true. Well, I mean, pizza would be good. But I have stuff on the line. I hung laundry out. And I've overfilled the washer by a lot. So the whole load was fucking soaked. The fucking laundry basket weighed like 100 pounds. So I hope everything's dry by tomorrow. I have to brush my teeth. I have to drink a bubbly. I have to get a pizza or get a pad thai. I'm not worried about getting tortured by TSD. I mean, you know, it's gonna suck, but if you want to get a pizza, I mean, you know, I would kind of like a pizza. I don't know. I would like Pita Pit, but it's too expensive. And really, a pizza is the fucking thing. Or pad thai. Or fucking... Or really, buffalo chicken. That's a good one. Could go to Walmart. Oh, yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Well, I feel a little bit bad, like I expect and I love you from Dance Girl. It's kind of rude to expect anything. Like, okay, that's gonna force her to do that. I'm gonna be mad at her if she doesn't do that. You know, I feel a little bit bad about that. But you know, I think I've told her a lot about our dates. That's cool. That's nice for me. I was excited to say, oh yeah, now we can communicate enough that I can just simply ask you when and where. And I think I brought up some insightful points too. That doing it this way is not going to make it easier. It might make it harder. But, you know, women do everything in the most difficult way possible. So that's just a thing. And but I don't necessarily say that about Dance Girl. No, I don't. I don't say that about the women I like. I'm just kind of being. I don't know. It depends. It depends what my mom says about these cordless phones. What I'll think about women. If she says, "Can we keep the ringer off 24/7, except for trusted calls?" I'll say yes. That's what we should do. Please let us do that. We have 3,000 numbers we can put in who can call us 24 hours a day, and the phone will ring. Let's just have those people, and anyone else, it goes to the voicemail, and then we'll call them back. And if they're a good person, we'll add them to those 3,000 number list. I feel like smiling. I'm in a good mood. I fucking smell bad though. I fucking smell bad. And but I could get more ice cream too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if I go to Walmart, I can get ice cream. I can get Beyond Impossible Chicken, I mean. And for the same price of a pizza, I can have a whole pint of ice cream. Plus I can have chicken. Plus I can have mashed potatoes and chicken. And plus I could have chips. That's even better than a pizza. And then, really, honestly, I could probably make a pizza as good as Pizza Pizza. But I'd have to make my own cultured cheese. Which is great. Which is actually great. You know whose nose I don't like is Bill Skarsgård, the villain in one of the new John Wick movies, and he plays the It clown. Talk about an upturned pig nose. Yuck. What is he, Scarlett Johansson? Okay, and she has a little pinhead too. No, I'm not into her with her upturned nose. I don't take her seriously at all. No, I don't. And Bill Skarsgård, yeah, no, he's not like Hayden Christensen. Okay. But he was great as the It clown. No, I think there was an It part 2. I liked those movies growing up. They scared me a lot. When do you think of porridge with brown sugar? I think it's pretty good. I was like, really? The best breakfast for a non-vegan is a Coca-Cola and a milkshake and all the rest? I was like, what about orange juice? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it'll be cool if I'll get my brain power is gonna go up by a lot if I eat fruit. It'll go up to the size of someone without a pinhead. I'll have a normal size head intelligence. Plus I'm me, which is like I'm a wise person. I hope, I hope. Sometimes I don't know. And there's Mr. Sub too. I could go to Mr. Sub if I'm in the mood for Mexican. But yeah, there is that. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. So thanks for chatting, and I love.